Hello everybody, Mr. Fraser here from NeonMaths. Bright Maths, Bright Future. In this session we're going to be looking at how we plot straight line graphs. Now, I know you can already substitute into expressions. I know you can recognize graphs that are parallel to the x and the y axes, but could you plot the graph of y equals 2x plus 3? Well, in this video we're going to look at how we plot graphs of linear functions. Hope you enjoy it.
Push it all the way to the max, wherein the pencil's gotta learn. When you can't think, mine is on fire. Mass fighter, now it's warrior time, so get preparing. Gladiator, mass is the armor that you're wearing.
I want to look at how we plot a straight line graph. Well, hopefully you'd be able to, if it's y equals or x equals, you'd be able to do that quite easily now. But what happens if we're asked to plot something like this? Right, well, to start off with, I could represent this using a function machine. A number, x, goes in. The first thing we do to it is multiply it by 2, then we add 5, and then we get y. So I could put any value in there. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 5 is 11. So 3 goes in, 11 comes out. 20 goes in, 45 comes out. 1,000,000 goes in, 2,000,005 comes out. Now, that's useful to know because what we're going to do now is we're going to generate x and y coordinates by substituting values, any values really, into this equation. But we're going to be a little bit more specific with the values that we use. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to use, considering our Cartesian plane, we're going to use the values -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now, how many coordinates do we need in order to be able to draw a straight line? Well, strictly speaking, we only need 2. If we've got 2 points, we can draw a straight line. But I always suggest doing at least 3, because then you'll know if you've made a mistake somewhere. In this case, we're going to be doing 7. So I'm going to do this in a logical way. I'm going to draw myself a little table. And now I'm going to simply substitute these values into this equation. So 2 multiplied by -3 is -6, plus 5 is -1. 2 multiplied by -2 is -4, plus 5 is 1. And to be honest with you, that's the hard bit. All we need to know now is that we're able to plot these and they will represent a linear function. Linear. Why is it linear? It's linear because there are no powers on our unknowns. So the highest power is 1. We get different kinds of graphs. This is a straight line graph. We're going to learn a lot more about what this number before the x and this number over here, the constant mean, in my next video. But we've generated a whole bunch of coordinates. So for example, over here we've got -3 and -1. That's a coordinate. So we're going to plot that. Then we're going to plot -2, 1, -1, 3, 0, 5, 1, 7, 2, 9, and 3, 11. So that's it. All we need to do now is draw a straight line between those points. And then of course, remember to label our graph. This is the graph of y equals 2x plus 5. Let's plot the graph of y equals -x minus 1. First things first, we need a table of values. Okay, so remember we substitute values in for our x in order to get our y coordinate. So we're going to do that. Now be very careful with this. What happens over here when we have a negative and a negative like that? Well, we're multiplying them together so we get a positive. So this becomes 3 minus 1, which is 2. When I substitute -2 in there, I get +2 minus 1, which is 1. If I continue going with these, substituting the values in, I'm going to get... Right, so next up, all we need to do is plot those points on our Cartesian plane. -3, 2, -2, 1, -1, 0, and so on. Now, all I need to do is draw a straight line through those points, and I'm going to extend it as far as my grid goes. And finally, I need to remember to label my graph. That's how you draw the graphs of linear functions. In the next video, we're going to be looking a little bit more at the details of the specifics. The general equation of a linear graph is y equals mx plus c, and m, the number before the x, and c, the constant, have very specific values. They represent very particular things. And we're going to learn about what they are next time. It's going to make our life a lot easier. So that's it for this session on the graphs of linear functions. Pretty straightforward, right? Yeah. As long as you know how to draw the table, substitute the values in, then use your x coordinates, find your y coordinates, plot the points, and join them up. Simple. But there is an even easier way of doing this. In fact, if you know what the value of m and c represent in the general equation y equals mx plus c, then this can be done even faster. So have a look out for my next video, which will show you how to do that. Hope you found this useful. Please subscribe to my channel.